Who's here? I don't know what happened. It might have been the music, right? It's not so fair use. We broke we broke the rules maybe, I don't know. Just sending good vibrations, right? Whatever they want to say. If you're joining on Facebook, I know that was what happened first. The Facebook feed stopped and then everything froze, I think. So we're back. Molly says we're back. We're back, Molly. Welcome. Hey, Karen. T. Witchin. Yes, we're back, Hawk Risa. Hello, and Biz Wolfer. Good morning. Good morning. Sheena. Welcome, Sheena. Shalomi. I love it. My favorite cosmic homies. Yes. Okay, so it's sounding okay? Sounds good? Hey, Jules. Hi there. Beautiful, beautiful. We're here. We're back. Shalom, shalom. Yes, Rainbow Warriors in the house. That's right. So, this angle, okay, let me take these off. All right. You might like this, Sheena. Sounds good too? Okay, good. I made myself a little bug repellent and I used a little bit of olive oil, lemon, and some of the what is it called, citronella. So I just mashed the citronella and the lemons and put it in the olive oil. I just used a bottle that I had, so it's nice, right? Nice on your skin. It's nice when you can make your own things, right? Speaking of which, what kind of day are you all having, huh? Good day? Yes. Well, I today have been eating granola. This is a good granola. Hemp. Yes, I want to grow hemp as well, but this is a really good one. It has dark chocolate in it, granola. So I was just munching on that outside and doing work. And I want to thank you all. I've been collecting office things. Look at all these beautiful colors. You have made it possible. And oh, by the way, yesterday I know I was ranting and I forgot my manners to say thank you for the super chats. I got caught up in the ranting and I lost my focus. If you hear some noise, it's just, it's grass cutting day. I hope it doesn't get in the way of the sound. Just let me know how it sounds. Is it okay? This angle is weird. I have the device on the wider lens. I don't know. What do you think? Looks good? You see that little art? I was going to show you that I did some framing. I framed a print that I love. I love, love, love. And I wanted to get your opinion if it's okay to float the print. I just had this old frame that I never use, and it's floating. I don't know. Give me your opinion. Do you think I should do a little more with it? But I love it. Just love it. It was an artist that I saw on Instagram. Instagram, can you imagine? Like, I liked the picture. It's something just stood out. I should bring it closer. Wait a minute. Hold up. What do you think? Do you like it in this type of frame, or do you think it needs to be in a better kind of frame? Let me know. Give me your opinion. But I love this picture. You can see why it's just so beautiful. Some things, you just resonate with. But tell me, do you think it's better in a better frame? Because this is not expensive. Frames cost so much money. But I wanted to get my friend's opinion there. Yes, I have pockets today, everybody. Pockets. Yes. So I could keep my blissies. Okay, so what's going on there? So do you like the frame that way? Should I go a bit more? Let me know. Okay, so today, let's see if these things are biting. Does anybody know about the biting things in the South? They call them no-see-ums. Now, okay, with this angle, I feel like I'm looking in the wrong way. Give me the right direction. Okay, here's the camera. Does it look like I'm looking at you, like if we were sharing some granola and tea? Does it look like we're just across the table from each other? Here's some granola. Does it look good? Or do I need to look somewhere else? Tell me, is that better right there? Hits from the bottom. Tell me. Much love. 420's here, 420. So okay, when I do this, it's like I'm talking to you, my friends, right? Directly on. Yes. Biz Wolfer said close. First angle. This one, Biz Wolfer, because I need to know when I put it that way. I don't want to look all these cuckoo ways. Is better? 5. Okay, good. You help me. See, these are things that we all have to learn because we're in a different type of we're in a different type of economy. We're in an economy now, and let's talk about economy and money and things like that. That energy, that big energon, okay? And I want to read an article. Am I still looking straight on? As if I'm doing the news. Hello, this is Jennifer Eason reporting to you from the sanctuary in the South. Is that good? Yeah? I got it? Good. Okay, all right. I have to look here though, however, when I'm reading the chatmosphere. Okay, so now I'm back looking at you. So, this is it. Today, I want to tell you all, this is the thing. It's no script. But have I been scripted? I don't know. I try not to be scripted, but I want to talk about the economy. Everybody is thinking different things, I want to talk about money and energy, energons. A lot of us have been kept out of knowledge. And when you find out that you've been kept out, you were not born with a silver spoon, but you acquired one because this was left over from your parents' divorce. So now it's become a prop in your crazy YouTube life. And I love it. And It's so symbolic. Have you noticed I haven't shined it? I like it rustic, you know? Rustic. And I don't know, I just like it in this. It says, "Take me as I am." Maybe that's why. And I can use it to scratch the no-see-ums because, yeah, I still feel it. You know, I need something stronger than lemon and uh, citronella. You know, they are resistant to citronella. So this is where you need to know, right? You need to know how to take it one step further because each pest needs a different pesticide. I don't know, not so much a pesticide. We want to get away from pesticides. We want to do natural things. And that's part of this conversation, okay? It has to do with culture and economies. Now, I worked a job. I have an employee mindset that I'm breaking out of. A lot of you know that I started my own business, right? I was a nurse in exile because I did not want to bow my knee to tyranny. When I saw what was going on in 2020 and the way that my life is set up, I do the extreme thing. So, yeah, I couldn't just work in Savannah while they were having it. I had to go to New York in the what they were calling the epicenter, ground zero, whatever you want to call it. I had to go up to New York City and get an experience. Some of us are like that, right? Some of us are we we've always been on the razor edge. We've been survivalist. That's why this stuff doesn't affect us because when haven't we been surviving and thriving? A lot of us thrive in chaos, unfortunately. We've learned to thrive in chaos. So it's a special talent. Some of us create our own chaos because we get so accustomed to chaos, right? Chi Witten says, "I eat garlic, no bugs bother me." Look at that. Most people don't bother you either. Yeah, garlic, more garlic. I like that. You know, if anybody grows garlic, let us know. Do you grow garlic? Because I want to start growing most of my things. My bra keeps falling down. Sorry, I know that's TMI, but I've been losing a bit of inches there, you know, just eating to live, not living to eat. I have been practicing eating to live, not living to eat. It's just that simple. It's a mindset. I get that part of the whole changing and what do they call it? Repenting, changing, metamorphosis. I get it. Renewing your mind. Yeah, right? Renewing your mind daily. It's a daily thing. And now I have started my business and I'm excited about it, you know, because people like us get excited about prospects of helping other people. You know, we never got our jobs to get rich. Okay, what nurse goes into nursing, let's be honest, and says, "Oh, I'm going to become a nurse so I can get rich." That's not somebody that has good mental capacity if they would say that. And nurses have a special imbalance, I'll say. They have a people pleasing type of imbalance. A lot of nurses have come from traumatic childhoods. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So I've known this because I observe people and groups and dynamics. I've always been an observer. I've always felt like I've been observing from an outside place, though. You know what I mean? You, of course, you know what I'm talking about. And I have even observed myself, and that is one of my mentor. 1 minute, I'm still here. One thing that my mentor, you met him, Chris, and you'll be seeing more of Chris. We'll be doing some live streams together. But one of the things that he has said, we do a mindset thing in the morning, on mornings. So it's a lot of mindset, very inspiring information. And one of the things that he says in terms of like how we are as just like the employee mindset, you know what I mean? 1 minute. Sorry. I invited 2 guests. I probably told you in the link. Oh, if they pop in, it's 2 guests, okay? And we'll work it out because they're going to add something really good to the conversation. I want to do more of that. So thank you for your patience. But what was I saying? Okay, so in terms of becoming a different person, like having your own renaissance and reset, this is what I'm beginning to see. And this is what I'm coming into. The knowledge of things that have been kept from me. Basic knowledge that has kept us captive to a group of tyrants, right? And let's see, T. Whitson says, learn the inner Grium, learn yourself. Yes, and that's what I'm learning. This is what I was about to say with my mentor, Chris, is when you become an entrepreneur and you become a business owner and you shift out of the employee mindset, every day you have to face yourself. And it's deep because you have to face your weaknesses and your strengths. And you have to find motivation. You have to find energy, big energy, to keep yourself in momentum, like in movement, going forward. Because when we stop, we stagnate. And we have seen people that stagnate, that have given up on themselves. They start to look very parched. Speaking of parched, I need a little water. I hope you get to see some of the butterflies that are showing off. And I hope they are finished soon with the lawn and the everything. Hey, the guru, welcome. Peace to you. Peace, shalom. How does everything sound before I go too far? Hey, Betty Daly is here. Hey, after 2021, I have learned more and more about myself. I am a free spirit. I always have been. See that? I knew you were a free spirit. That's why we resonate, you know, Betty. Everybody, Betty and I, we go back, you know, like we were talking about earlier, we go back to the chat that Prime had. Prime had a chat that most of us, that's where we connected here. And we've gotten lost. I feel like it's an escape room that we're doing like together. I don't know, like I've described it like a marathon too, that we're running a marathon and, you know, we see certain people sometimes. We look and we see the same people keeping pace, but it doesn't mean that it's a race of speed. It's a race of endurance, right? Some of us need to check out, right? Soldiers, warriors. They need to know when to tap out of this This is the metaverse to a degree, but we use it as a tool of communication. But we are real people. We don't do this for fame and clicks and views and likes. We don't do it for that. We do it because this is how the modern person communicates. I'd love to have you right here sharing my granola. I'd love that. Until we can do that, then we're going to do this, right? I like this. But just know we are real people. When this thing turns off, real life is the same. Look, all this goofiness that I do, that's who I am. I know that that is not surprising to you. Yes, authentically goofy, okay? Geeky, nerdy. And I was that way as a child. It was nothing. I have, can you see this? Let me see. So you can see the record player. Do you see the record player right here? Yeah, it's right here. So even as a kid, I would do stuff like that. That was nothing for me to, let's see. That was nothing for me to bring my record player. Hey, it's mobile. It can move around. Why not? You can move around. You're not a tree. I would always tell people because I had a really bad case of wanderlust. I don't know about you, but I had it pretty bad. And I was always running away, running away. That was my form of therapy. So travel and adventure, you may know what I'm talking about. Those that seek travel and adventure and culture. That's a big one. Culture. Because a lot of us have been so hungry, so thirsty. I said I wanted to take a drink. 1 minute. Please allow me to have a sip. So a lot of us have been thirsting for culture. In fact, this bottle that I made my own concoction of repellent, it's actually from, you see that? It's from a hotel, La Mamunia. This is in Marrakesh, Morocco. So I took my daughter to Morocco 3 years ago, and it was an amazing trip. But I was just showing you that these things are special to me. Like, I didn't throw this away once I finished it, so I'm using it now. But it's something about that orange. You know, everybody, I've loved orange. Orange. Karen knows that I loved orange ever since 2020, right, Karen? So when I went to Marrakesh, I don't know how you like to say, Morocco, we stayed at this hotel, La Mamounia. And the color scheme of this hotel is orange. And when you're in Morocco, there are orange trees everywhere, just all along the residential streets. Orange trees. Can you imagine? And fresh orange juice is just flowing like water. Fresh orange juice. And Betty says, I have to check in with you all to see if the sound is okay. My youngest granddaughter loves orange everything. Must taste orange. I love it. Look at that. I started resonating with orange. So we saved a lot of things from this experience. And one day maybe I'll talk about my experience in Morocco. But I'm saying that to say that I have always wanted to do these things for my daughter. I've always wanted to show her the world. And I did it, but I didn't do it the way that I wanted to. I did it as a single mother, struggling, doing extra hours at work, almost, just burning the candle, as they say, on both ends. So you could do these things. And I've done that for, you know, for a long time. And I'm not trying to get sympathy. Don't think that's or anything like that. I'm just saying it to say that when we start to face ourselves, and this is part of what I'm saying, when we become entrepreneurial, we start to shift our mindset out of that employee thinking. And we want to do a business, and we want to be bold and step forward. And we want our time back. When we saw what happened in 2020, the great resignation, and I was an early resigner because I would not bow my knee to the tyranny. I would not. And it doesn't make me any better. It makes me crazy. I'm so crazy that I will not wear a mask. I'm that crazy. So my special kind of crazy, it's like I'm unemployable. Just think about it. Look at all the trash I talk. I'm calling people Nazis out here. I'm over here on a YouTube channel waving a spoon. What? I'm sharing Back to Eden, the book, which people have said they have purchased. And I would say everybody needs to have this book. I get nothing for it. And I know people think that's stupid. Why would you? Some people monetize absolutely everything. And I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle. I've just always been, I don't know, different. I've had to fight myself. I worked in big pharmaceuticals for 10 years of my 33 plus of being a nurse. And when I was in big pharma, we would do all these things they would bring consultants in all the time. Consultants to do these team building exercises. They even took us to Pecos, New Mexico to do team building exercises. This was the kind of experience I had in corporate America, as they say. My experience in corporate America was working for big pharmaceuticals for 10 years. I worked for a company that was like, it was like the little company that could, like the little engine that could. It was called Astra Merck. It was a joint venture between Astra and Merck. So then we were so young. It was like we called it the MTV of corporate America. We had like sofas in the lobby that were like blood red or purple furniture. We had this really charismatic CEO, and he wore like black turtlenecks on stage, and black slacks. What was his name? I can't recall right now, but it might dawn on me what his name was. But it was a time and an era before the FDA cracked down on spending. But this was when as a drug rep, as they called us, I would have a budget to take my doctors out and wine and dine them, right? Oh, Budokan and all these Steven Star restaurants in Philadelphia. Yes, Budokan. This is when Budokan just started out. Budokan was so bougie that they told Bill Clinton that he would have to wait. They didn't even bump him ahead of somebody. Just to get a reservation when I was a drug rep at Budokan, it was like 3 weeks out maybe to get a reservation. And when you went in, it was like this huge big gold Buddha. And they played music real loud. It was just a place to be seen, right? You couldn't even talk and have a conversation and do business. But guess what? It was like that wink, wink, hey, we're not really here to do business, are we? We're just finding ways to act like we're doing business. But what we're really doing, wink, wink, is we're whining and dining doctors, their wives, their pets, their whole office staff, their kids. We're here to wine and dine them, right? And we're here to buy their prescriptions. That's what we're really here for. But we know how to make it look very scientific, like we're having a symposium, right? They teach you how to make things look a certain way. So the doctor influencers that you have paid an honorarium. Do you see what I'm getting at? You pay them an honorarium. Does anybody know what an honorarium is? Yeah. Those are the kind of things that get you to fly under the radar. I'm just giving you a little glimpse into my 10 years compressed as a drug rep for Big Pharma. So you can pay the doctors through honorariums. And the honorariums have a certain, it's like a level, okay? So you have people that work for the company at different levels. So nurses were very valuable to them. Pharmacists are very valuable, especially PharmDs. A PharmD is someone that you say, Dr. So-and-so. Yes, kickbacks. Yeah, payola. Have you heard of payola? Payola by another name, right? These are the ugly secrets. And you learn how to live in delusion that you're doing good. You are basically in a cult, okay? So what they do is they get a PharmD or doctor to basically give a talk at the restaurant. We're at Le Bec Fin. Has anybody ever been to Le Bec Fin? One of those little fancy French restaurants that puts oui, right? Le Bec Fin. Oh, this is great. Yummy. Le Bec Fin. It's very French, very pretty. Very pretty plates. It's beautiful Le Bec Fin. And the head of the Le Bec Fin, he's a Frenchie. What's his name? Jacques. Jacques. Yes, so you're going to all these restaurants, Le Bec Fin and Budokan, and when you have had your belly filled of that kind of foolishness, you want to go to McDonald's after you leave Le Bec Fin. I know that's not going to go over well, but you know what I mean. Le Bec Fin, just a little Le Bec, little petite, just a little bit of that in your life. Just a little bit of it, not a lot. Because this is the thing about it. When you indulge in all of that, you get so bored. It brings boredom to your life, right? Into your spirit, your soul, because you know it's not real. You can't eat little pretty French foods on a white plate with smears of sauces and things. You can't eat that and feel it's not soul food. Whereas you let my mother cook for you, I'm not quite there, you know. It gets watered down, in other words. You know, you're not going to ever say, wow, Jennifer really fried that chicken, didn't she? She really did that. You're never going to hear that said about me, okay? Now, my mother, you would be ready to have her adopt you after she made some soul food for you, okay? So, Le Bec Fin and all these places, they don't have soul. That's what I'm saying. They don't have soul. So, you're over it. It's like, whew, next. So you're doing this emptiness day in and day out. This is your job to do this. You got to walk in. You're schlepping like a caterer, right? Jewel, you know about. You used to love fried chicken. Yes, tell the truth about the fried chicken. Everybody loves fried chicken. I don't care who you are. Let's just tell the truth. Even you vegans. That's why you always have pretend fried chicken, right? Have you noticed that? Why do you need pretend chicken? Everything has a pretend chicken. It's either you're eating chicken or pretend chicken. We live in so many delusions, right? Have you noticed that? You know, when you're eating uh, Beyond Meat, they make it look like meat. Why? It's in the name, Beyond Meat. I don't know. It's kind of like you're just giving advertisement for meat, especially when you have people like Kim Kardashian pushing the agenda of what is it called? What is that? One of those codex things, Codex Alimentarius or something? Hey, Angelique, hello, Mrs. Perez, manufactured meat. Who's trying to do that, Angelique? I know you're not trying to do that, sis, right? Let's see. Betty says fried yard bird is always good. That's right. And another thing about that, Betty, we have gotten used to these overstuffed type of birds that, you know, fowl, poultry. And when you get back to sanity, your chickens, if you eat chicken, it doesn't have to be all pumped up. What is that about? Hey there, New York May. Thanks for rejoining. Hey there. I have to look here and look here. Okay, Jennifer, been feeling like I'm swimming upstream since way back. Really? You know, that's a good thing to swim upstream. That was something that Charnel had talked about once, the swimming against, you know, the current, and how that's the secret to the propulsion. So it's a good thing. Socially programmed. Yes. You use veggies? Yeah. That's right. Hormone. Yeah. And synthetic life. Exactly. Hey, Lionel. Lionel, hi there. Hi from Waxahachie, Texas. Oh, let's give a warm welcome to Lionel. Welcome, Lionel. You're a new name here. Welcome to our chatmosphere. We're just talking here. I'm outside. Earlier, I was playing some trumpets as we are entering into the Feast of Trumpets. Yes, September 25th, sundown. The Feast of Trumpets, Rosh Hashanah. Let's see. Monkey Speaks. I haven't seen you in a minute. Welcome, Monkey Speaks. My dog got my chickens about a month ago, sadly. Anybody want a husky mix? Oh, no. Sorry. Sorry. I'm wondering about that because I am finally ready to get into the chicken thing. I've been wanting to, but now, you know how you just have to get ready to do it? It's good to start small, of course, small. It's a good thing. How will Josephine act towards chickens? And I think you all know. Yes. Welcome to the Free Spirit House. That's right. In fact, Free Spirit, one of those brands that I used to love but didn't shop there is Free People. Free People. I always loved it. It resonated with me. Free People. Does anybody shop at Free People? Just the name alone, right? And they do a lot of crochet things. Oh, speaking of crochet, yes, let's see. Madcraft. There are zero original foods on the market. Everything is synthetic and man made. They even put dyes in meat to keep it on the shelf longer. Thank you, Madcraft, for bringing that information. It's so true. I think we just don't want to face how horrible our food supply really is. To really go down the rabbit hole of our food supply, it's very disheartening. And that's why I want to talk about these things of, okay, where was I? I was talking about, oh, okay, as a business owner, my mentor says on the mindset calls that every day you have to face yourself. Remember I said that? So when you're an employee, it's easy. It's very easy to do. You you know when to wake up, when to whatever, go to sleep and work, get off, you punch in, or sometimes you could call in or do whatever. Some people are doing already like the biometrics in some of the hospitals. So you have badges as nurses. It's always been disturbing how I saw the creep of technology. And I was always the nurse that, of course, you're not surprised that I was the nurse that disrupted everyone when I would ask questions. Remember, weren't you the kid in Sunday school that kept asking the questions, right? How is it that Israel became a nation in 1940? What happened before that? Um, what, you're the kid that got in trouble in Sunday school, right? So when you ask questions, you're not very popular, especially in the workplace. Especially in the workplace. Free spirits, free people, we have had to subdue ourselves so long. Our tongues are so sore from biting our tongues. We have had to learn to bite our tongues. We've had to learn to pick our battles. We've had to learn to go along to get along. Some of us some of us get along better. Some of us are disruptive. So, I'd ask questions. Why? Why are we attached to an electronic leash, for instance? Hey, everybody, doesn't this new employee badge feel like an electronic leash? Literally, you have the ones that you pull out so you could badge in. So you're literally on an electronic leash because somebody somewhere knows when you go to the bathroom. They know when you are in a patient's room, right? So it's all of these, the surveillance. It was so 1984. And when you are a free spirit who has a soul that doesn't allow them to feel comfortable in that kind of tyranny. So when you ask questions like, Doesn't it feel like we're becoming more and more on an electronic leash? And you know, your coworkers are just like, they don't want to talk about that stuff. You're the conspiracy theorist, right? Not fun. Or if they talk to you, they do it like, I call it like, what is the guy, Nicodemus? They come to you in the corners. Hey, come here, to tell you that they were going to vote for Trump. You're like, you, you're, you support Trump, and they're like, shh, yes, shh, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. I was like, wow, the like, soon as I said that I was going to vote for Trump, like publicly, that's when I was, canceled. But when my coworkers that were on social media and they saw the onslaught, the flood of venom and vitriol that we went through as so-called black Trump supporters. So they were watching us get diced up and sliced up and canceled and trolled and everything. Are we back? I'm gonna wait. I got bumped out of the stream. Let me know if you hear and see me on the stream. Are we back? We're back. Yeah? Sounds good? Because I'm not gonna talk forever if it's not sounding good. I invited a couple of guests. Okay, five. Okay, so whatever I was saying that I have to face myself as a person who, I know I'm unemployable. Let's just be real. But at the same time, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, as they say. I wasn't. I have proximity to the black boule, but that didn't transfer into my pockets. Okay, didn't transfer into my pockets. So it could have. Okay, and that's the thing. Somebody says unalienable rights super channel. You are coming through on our super channel. Wow. Hello, unalienable rights super channel. Welcome. I'm not sure what it means coming through, but I'm glad you let me know and give some love to unalienable rights super channel. Welcome to our chatmosphere. So basically, back to, I'm back. Okay, good. All right, so I realize that I'm unemployable. I have talked so much crap. I just posted something about Stacey Abrams, okay? If anybody is going to piss off the black boule, here she is. Here she is. They hate me. They hate me. I could never be welcomed in their circle, okay? Because I have broken every rule. Although I'm not pledged in oaths or anything, but I've still pissed them off. And I am persona non grata, okay? Persona non grata right now. Doesn't matter if you don't go along with the just whatever's been prepared for you, your script. I told you all I've always wanted to write a book. I started writing a book a few years ago. I started on a manuscript. I got in touch with a literary agent, New York literary agent. Hey, Sal. I don't know what his name was, but it seems like it was Sal. So, yes, I had a literary agent that looked at my manuscript. I mailed it to him in New York. He lived in upstate New York, of course, because he could do that. He didn't have to live in the city. He had options. Isn't it nice to have options? If you don't want to live in New York City, you can live in upstate New York. You need options, though, right? So I tried to go the route of just writing my book and doing it. I ran into a lot of complications. I won't get into the details of which, but just say it wasn't blessed by the right people in my family. Being that the project was not blessed, although people told me that they would bless my project if I did it after this point, right? After I retire. Okay, I'll wait. I'll cool my jets, pun intended, and I'll wait till you retire. Okay, so I'm at your retirement party. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm writing my book now. No, not quite. So, as I've told you all, every time I've tried to write a book, it turns into an interesting experience. And the last time I tried to do it, I was told that I didn't go through the right channels. Had I gone through the channels that were prescribed for me, people that are proximal to people like Oprah Winfrey, you know? So I could have gone through channels like that, through Chicago. I told you about my Chicago connection. I was born outside of Chicago. So because I didn't go through the right channels, I'm a free spirit. I just figure I have a story I want to tell. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to learn how to write. I took writing workshops. I didn't just jump into it. I took workshops. I tried to learn the mechanics of writing. And now that we have the internet, you can literally go onto YouTube University and you have writers that are all around giving free advice to you. You can take workshops too. And you can write your story. You can become independent. You can do like the guys with hip hop, the beginning of hip hop, when they sold their tapes out of their trunk. They avoided the record company and these 360 contract deals, right? There's something really powerful to those artists and creators that have remained underground, grassroots, independent. So when I learned that you could write a book and you can have it published and you can market it yourself on the internet, I wanted to go that route. But because I didn't go the route of, again, that's your so and so who knows Oprah, you're supposed to call him to do this and get it approved through our methods of approval. So I'm not allowed to write my book. So when you all say, Jennifer, you should write a book, it's not that easy. Last time I tried to do it, I could write a book about that experience. So that's when you could say that if you've had dreams that have been deferred for whatever reason, you may be feeling now in this energy, if you want to call it energy that we're in, this newness. When you resigned, if you resigned in the great resignation, if you refuse to wear a mask, you refuse to get vaccinated, to keep your job, and you found yourself just tossed. Nobody cared. All they wanted to do is tell you what you needed to do because you were killing grandma. You heard it. People attacking. But where's that energy now? We went through a lot of trauma that was inflicted on us. It was a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Remember? It's going to be a dark winter. Where's that energy now? But we have to always be the bigger person, right? Aren't you always the bigger person? You try to be, whatever that means. I don't know what it means. Sometimes literally you're the bigger person. I've got a lot of room in this dress, you all. Yes, it's something about it, you know? Eating to live and not living to eat. It's simple. It's wisdom, right? That's all we have to do is apply wisdom to our lives right now. If you've had an opportunity to resign from being so captured, your time, everything, your energy. Like when I worked in corporate America, when they would bring those consultants in to do all those personality assessments, you know, uh, what is it, Myers-Briggs, the Myers-Briggs. You could already guess what I am. Who knows Myers-Briggs? Can you tell me what you think I am? I'd love to see in the chatmosphere. It sounds narcissistic too, but if you think you could guess, you're welcome. I'd like to see who knows about these things, the Myers-Briggs. So for me, they do these things and they make it sound so fun, right? We're having a team building. And they line us up, kind of like lining you up for execution. And the consultant, he's already done an array, if you did a scale of where everyone falls in your office group. You can imagine I was the outlier. When it had to do with anything intuitive, creative, whatever, I was always almost at the extremes. And then the rest of the office was at the other side. They were the analytical, robots, type A, robots, danger, 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 Mr. Smith. So imagine me working in an environment when I'm the one that's the intuitive, whatever feeling. I'm in my feels. Can we do mind mapping? I loved when that consultant came in and I could do all these circly things and see. Thank you so much for your support of me having my office warming right here. I have all these colorful pens. Thank you for the blessings. I have a whole bag of blessings right here. But I have to do things in color. Danger. Will Robinson, danger, danger. Danger, stranger danger. I'm working with all these kind of people. Okay? And whoa. It's not fun. Because you know what? Invariably, what people like us do, we learn how to code switch. You know what that is, code switching? You learn how to act like a robot. You could pick it up because you observe and you're like, oh, okay, that's what you say. I'm in meetings saying, no, you're right. I made that mistake. I'm sorry. I missed that. And then one of my friends who's been trained to be a robot, she's like, don't ever admit that you were wrong, Jennifer. And I was like, what? Never admit that you made a mistake, she told me. See, when you enter corporate America, you need a mentor, right? You need somebody to tell you the game. They need to put you on to the game. They know that you're not on to the game too, right? And if you're fortunate enough to have a mentor, that's how you can have longevity. Otherwise, you're going to be out the door, right? You'll probably walk out the door because when you are creative and fabulous, you're not going to leave until you're ready to leave. You're not going to make them make you leave. When you leave, you're going to dance, right? You're the kind that's going to do a moonwalk out the office, right? You're like, "Yep, call World Star Hip Hop cuz I'm about to do the best quitching, right? It's going to be epic." So, we learn how to code switch and act in such an artificial environment. Look at me, I'm right now being lit by whatever's happening with the sun. I don't know what you call it. Some of you might say we got two suns, whatever. China's making an artificial sun. China, let me tell you something, China girl. You in danger. You are in danger, China, if you don't get it together. And I said it again, China. I got my eye on you. We got our eyes on you, China. You think we're going to put up with that? What the heck? Someone guessed it. ESTP. I think I had an I in it. Somewhat of an I. But thank you, B Wolf. It sounds like a nice person, maybe. I try to be. So, yeah. So, this is the thing. Let's see. Make sure everything's good. That made my skin feel nice. I told you all, if you're just joining, I made my own repellent of olive oil, citronella leaves, and lemon. So I put it on my skin and I'm feeling okay now. It feels better. So yeah, maybe that's it, an INFP. I think you got it, Phyllis. I think that's what I am. And you know what that means? That means you're unemployable. That's what it means. It translates to unemployable. But I lasted 10 years in Big Pharma. Can you imagine? Well, I learned how to do the game. My friend tells me you never admit that you're wrong. She knew how to rephrase things. So if you did make that mistake, right, there's a way you can say that maybe perhaps it was their mistake, not yours. Like, she knew how to do the word spell. I can't explain it. But some people learn this from little kids. They learn this. And when you're not of that education, you're basically either you're going to sink or swim, right? If you're a survivalist, which all this survival stuff, you have to give yourself some credit that you've been in survival mode. Like I said, you've been able to thrive in craziness and chaos. So right now, a lot of us are doing our own reset. Okay, they want to call it a reset. What are you going to do? Lay down and cry? No. They're going to try a reset. They did it in the 1900s, which the 1800s and the 1900s look like they do this. Looks like it might be some kind of entanglement going on. We've all found out and been shocked about the 1800s. The 1800s have us shook, like we are clutching our pearls, 1800s, because the lies. It's the lies for me. The lies. And this is where we are. We're at a point where, yeah, sure, I could have tried to get back into nursing. I could have tried it. I can't do it because I see the healthcare profession in the same way I see the public health sector of Nazi Germany. I'm not even kidding. And I know that I say some outlandish things. That's why I'm not employable, everyone. Because I want to say this stuff. I don't want to always have to put a filter on my mouth. I don't want to all the time. I realize that, yeah, you have to sometimes. But see, we are in a time when truth needs to be spoken because we haven't even been aware of all the lying. We have to speak truth. Now, I've been speaking so much truth that I might as well never update my resume. I might as well take my resume and just put it in the, I don't know, recycle bin. Maybe I could make some yarn out of it. Speaking of yarn, I figured I'd get back to knitting, crocheting. I haven't been able to do that. I don't know how many fiber artists we have here, but do you know what it is when you can't pick up your creative things? You stop. You can't write, you can't do music, you can't. It's something that's happened. By the way, I'm going to double this. I'm just going to do a little while we're waiting for the guests to come in. So I haven't been able to get down to doing anything with the fiber arts. And it's been a long time, I'll say. I know about the time when I stopped, and I'm going to use a Big Mama. I think I will use a J10, or for your European friends, it would be 6.00 millimeters. So the golden needle. Maybe I'll just do a little crochet while I'm sitting here with my friends and family here. Yeah, so, but I'm doubling up. I want to do something. It's starting to feel like autumn right now. Leaves are falling. You may see some, and the butterflies are very active. Am I in frame here? I have to kind of sit down low. So I couldn't pick this up and do anything with it. I was talking to my daughter, and she said that, well, she stays in the craft. I'll call it the craft. I taught her when she was 7. And I learned this when I was maybe a little younger. So I learned crochet and knitting at I'll say at the hip of my grandmother and mainly my aunt. My Aunt Eleanor was her name. She has passed on, but she was the kind of aunt that was a mother aunt, okay? A mother aunt. Oh, well, Molly, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Molly, for the super chat love. Yes, I missed them yesterday. Thank you all who gave me super chat love yesterday. I was ranting, wasn't I? Oh yeah, I was ranting. Oh my gosh, how can I forget? I was really ranting yesterday. So I've been on for a minute, haven't I? I'm looking at the time. I'm not going to go too crazy. I'm good for until I have some time. Do you have some time? Let me know, okay? Come in and whatever, stay for a while. So, my daughter, I taught her this craft because my aunt taught me. The women in my family were all creative. So they were seamstresses. When you had a lot of women in your neighborhood that were seamstresses and they did it all. A lot of people, they get mad at you when you do a lot. You know what? I'm going to throw my yarn on the lawn, on the grass. If you don't like it, it's not dirty, okay? Sometimes I need to have my yarn I need one of those big somethings, okay? So it's on the ground and I'm just pulling it. If you know, you know. Tell me put some yarn balls in there if you know. So anyway, I'm going to make myself one of those, when you see that picture that I use a lot in my screen shares, I made it's called a capelet. A capelet. I think I'm going to make a capelet out of this. It's a cotton blend. And I I hopefully will get back in. Mercedes, thank you. Look at that. That's right, Mercedes. You know, I would like to have a yarn farm, a fiber farm, ultimately. Sean, thank you for the super sticker, Sean. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sean. Love you, brother. Yes, please, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thank you, Angelique. Angelique says she reminds you, thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead. What are you doing? You've been over here watching all this time. How long I've been on? You haven't subscribed? Come on and subscribe and like the video. Maybe I'll get out to more people that like this kind of content. It can help. Flower Girl Apothecary. That's right. We want to get some fiber going. Yes, New York May. New York May. In fact, I went to a fiber event up in Rhinebeck, New York, near Woodstock. That's when I realized I want Paca Vicuñas, okay? So back to this conversation. A lot of you are patriots, right? A lot of you want to make America great again. Who's talking about hemp? Did I see something about hemp? I want to grow hemp. You know what? I want to do it all. So the women in my family, like I was saying, my aunt Eleanor taught me this. She knew how to do a lot of stuff. She cooked. She was a master gardener. Why can't you have many skills? People get mad at you when you are able to continue learning. You never shut your learning and your wonderment for something new. Your mind stays sharp and nimble because you've never stopped learning, right? And some people, they really don't like that about you. Phyllis, thank you for the super sticker, love. Thank you so much. Oh, I really love you all. Thank you for the support. So, you know, you're that one. You're the one. So you also pick up all of these skills in your neighborhood. Remember, everyone, especially my Philly Johns. If you grew up in Mount Airy, West Philly, South Philly, come on now, Germantown. You always had women in your neighborhood that were seamstresses. You never had to go to a store to have a special dress. If you had a special occasion, you were going to a wedding, or you were someone's flower girl, or you were going on your prom, or your wedding, your own wedding dress, you did not go to David's Bridal. Sorry, David's Bridal. I think you're in too many places for one, and I just think it's too manufactured. Okay, I'm not trying to step on your toe. I know you were a beautiful bride out of David's Bridal. Okay, but let's just be real. Let's be real for a moment. A lot of women made their own wedding dresses. In fact, I've crocheted a few gowns. I have a beautiful pattern. You know what? Maybe that'll be something we do. I love this. It's coming to me right now in real time. Hold it. Let me get some water. Wait until I share this with you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How about this? Let's have a master class. For anybody who has crochet skills, you would have to be intermediate and above. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be bougie, but you have to have some ground foundational understanding of, see, crochet is a language. It's a language and it's a code, just like this computer. It's coding, and it's all based on mathematics. In fact, crochet is based on um, quantum math, geometry rather. Geometry, because see, with crochet, which is unlike knitting. It's unique because you can build out the dimensions. It's not a flat only. You can do it with knitting too, but with crochet, you can do it in a way that is so geometrical that you can teach this to children. This would be part of your homeschooling. If you're not teaching your children crochet and you homeschool them, I would tell you this might be fun to add, and you can teach math. Okay? It doesn't matter, boys or girls. We're not going to get into the gender thing because this is not gender specific. Okay? So we don't need to even worry about that, boys and girls. So this is a language, but this is my idea that just hit me. I want to share it. If somebody can type it into the chatmosphere, I'll have it up on the thing. I would like to have I have a beautiful pattern, and I met the pattern author. Did you just see the butterfly? I'm sorry, go by. So I met the pattern author, and she and I are connected on Facebook. She's a beautiful woman. You know me, I had to find out who she was. Okay, sister. Okay, she's okay. She wrote this pattern for the crocheted gown that I've shown. So I wouldn't mind. I'll check with her if I could share. Well, I would encourage you to buy the pattern so it gives her some income for all of her work. But I'll ask her in terms of I would like to do a special class and we can make a gown together. And what I want to do is I want to make a white gown. That will be the requirement, is that you make a white gown. So this will either be for your wedding or it will be for you to gift to your daughter or someone in your family, a friend. It'll be a gift. But we are going to crochet a wedding gown. How do you like that? More to come. This is getting me back into it's coming back. You all have brought it back. Prayer shawls, yes. Prayer shawls. I have made some prayer shawls, and like I said, something happened. I went through a trauma. I haven't talked about it, but this trauma shut me down with a lot of creative things. And this was one that I got shut down. I wanted to come back. All right. So I'm going to be fighting to bring this back online. Okay. So let's work on the logistics of it. But I want to see if you're even interested in doing that. Or I'll just sit there and make a wedding gown and I will donate it to someone. I will gift it to someone. And when you do crochet, it's very quick. So we'll talk about that at another time. So my aunt Eleanor taught me this craft. She was the kind of woman, like on a day like today. Do you remember wearing ponchos? She always made ponchos for us, me and my cousin Jill. And it was always me and Jill. She was like my sibling cousin, my sister that I never had. So it was always Jill and Jennifer. She's older, so her name always went first. Jill and Jennifer. Jill and Jennifer. We were, she was just a year older. So my big sister, but she was little because I was always tall. So growing up, her mother was my Aunt Eleanor. And that's my mother's older sister. So Eleanor would make ponchos for us, and she would make the pom-poms like a tie like this, but it would have a pom-pom at the end. I love making pom-poms, by the way. Some days we'll just make pom-poms, just bunches of pom-poms, okay? We're going to have fun. We're going to bring crocheting back, make fiber great again. So we would take our ponchos on a crisp autumn day like this, which it felt a little crisp in the air. I don't know about where you are, but today felt more like, wow, I can smell autumn. I know you learn how to discern when fall is coming. And so we would have our ponchos on, and we would then take the poncho and pull it down and make it like a skirt. That was something we loved to do because we were little skinny minis, okay? So we could take the poncho, it had like a little V opening, and just put it on your waist, and it was like the cutest little skirt. And some of her ponchos, she put fringe. Remember that? She put fringe on it, and oh, those days of growing up in Philadelphia were amazing. So growing up and having her teach me this art, I got away from it. You know, life happens and you grow up. One thing that happened that I knew I had to teach my daughter is I was watching her one day in the back seat with a friend. We were going somewhere, and they were both on the Game Boys. Remember the Game Boys? So here she is. They're both in the back seat. They're not even talking to each other. They're just playing Game Boys. And I could try to talk to them from the front seat. You know, I'm looking in the rear view, and they're just, they're engrossed. And I would say, hey, you guys, they wouldn't hear you right away. And it concerned me because I just saw, like, I don't want my daughter to get so caught up. It's a metaverse, right? They still got caught up though, right? That the millennials, they still got caught up in the metaverse. We didn't know what we didn't know. But I knew that I wanted to teach her this. So I taught her when I saw that Game Boy getting to be too much. And she took to it like a fish to water. In fact, the student became the teacher. She became so good at crochet and knitting because I made sure we knew both. And like I said, it's a language. You learn the language of this fiber art. So she got to be so good, and she's very analytical, very mathematical. And she knew the math, the math just right away took her. And she was teaching me things that she would grasp. And we were always challenging ourselves to do something more challenging and more challenging. And now she teaches me. And I always said, and you may laugh at this, but I'm serious. I wanted to teach my daughter a skill that she would never have to feel that she would have to be on her back for any money, if you know what I mean. And I'm not trying to be feminist in what I'm saying. I'm not trying to knock men, but I literally have heard women do things because they lack finances. And I'm not being funny. I've had people that told me that they slept with a dude because they couldn't pay their rent. See, this is what this society has become. This very predatory culture. So I just said, my daughter will always have a skill, and whatever skills I could teach her, that she could work with her hands. And you know what? She turned this into a business. So through college and high school, she even started a crochet knitting club in high school. They never had one. She started. And she was able to sell a lot of her wares and make money. You know, she has jobs and things, but this is always something that can supplement. Of course, you can't do a lot when you're just working with your hands. This is not something that's going to make somebody like, you're not a machine, of course, unless you have a knitting machine. I'm not against a knitting machine. I would like to have one day. But you can always make hats. You can make sweaters. You can make things. I've known women that started a cottage industry out of their home, crocheting beautiful things, baby clothes, baby blankets. You have to take care of your body, though. 1 minute, I'm still here. You have to take care of your hands. You know, if your hands are doing anything that's bringing you income, you have to learn to take care of your body. You know, you have to learn how to preserve your body. And these are things that when you are into wholeness and shalom, you want to take care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, including the type of work that you do. So, nursing for me, I'm unemployable as a nurse in the system that we have currently, allopathic medicine. I'm unemployable with everything I've learned and what I witnessed in 2020. I'm traumatized. I could never return to that profession. So I started my own business and I'm learning money. A lot of us can't even say money without getting in our feels a little bit, gets a little squirmy when we start to talk about money. Because a lot of us have been told that you are noble when you're struggling. You're noble. You're a good person. Because rich people are bad, right? We've already been through that programming. But a lot of us have supported Trump, right? Trump is not you would never say a person that lives in lack. He has a mindset of a person who lives in wealth and abundance. So anybody who likes Trump, supports him, should learn. It would be probably a good idea to learn what what was the mechanism, what's the mindset. And you're always going to have your detractors, of course. People are going to write a book about a person, but if they're not talking about you, you're really not doing anything to shake the table. Is that right? I think he shakes the table a lot. So, reading possibly his book about what is his book? Art of the Deal. Probably not a bad book to. If you don't have Art of the Deal and you are a Trump supporter, why don't you have that book? Why? I don't have it. I probably should have bought it. I've always wanted it. I don't know what stopped me. I've been wanting to have that book for a while, even before he ever ran for president, because I like Trump. I used to watch The Apprentice. Remember? Money, money, money. The song is called Money. So he's got a money energy. Money energy. So anybody who would support him, I would think that we need a financial literacy education, right? Because there are ways that we can do the things that we never knew we could do because we were never told. We were not taught these things. We just went to the public schools. I'm a graduate of Philadelphia Public Schools. I was taught how to be an employee. Even though I was a weird hippie employee, I still learned how to code switch enough to be in corporate America 10 years and survive. I was the one that quit. They didn't fire me. So obviously I learned something, how to not get fired. Because that's really a lot of us, we learn how to not get fired, right? How to keep a job is really like the game. When a lot of people now, they have some stories out here that are so tragic where people were told that they needed to work a little bit longer to get their pension. And right when 2020 hit and then they started all the mandates, just imagine being in this position, this trick bag that I've heard. An employee that was told to wait, give more time. So when 2020 hits, this person had 2 more years or something. They had to get the vaccine. Because if they didn't complete this 2 more years, what happens to the pension? these are some of the real life stories of what we're going to start hearing, that people had to make decisions based on their pensions. It's been a lot of theft of pensions, and it's very sad, very sad. So I am now shifting out of that employee mindset. A lot of us, we read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. At least I did buy that book when I was in corporate America, because something about corporate America, you kind of tiptoe a little bit into entrepreneurialism. And I had always had like a little side business. And so what I was doing is I was getting rocking chairs, these wooden rocking chairs, and I was painting them, and I was making really elaborate rocking chairs. And I went and I actually had a name, like my brother's here, he'll tell you, I called them Royal Rockers. And I had these little brass plates made. I went and paid a graphic artist. Can you imagine me paying like all this money to a graphic artist back then? Now I do my own graphics, right? Wow. Look at how technology has changed. So I'm paying a graphic artist, and we didn't have Fiverr. So I was paying a pretty penny. I paid to have that logo called Royal Rockers, and it was like a crown. I had them pressed into brass plates, and then it was like a jeweler that made these brass plates. When they pressed them, they were maybe just like this big. They were only like maybe $1 something per plate. And the jeweler was right in my neighborhood. I didn't even have to go far. It was just a little jeweler that made these plates and everything. I think he even made some of the Grammy statues sometimes. He had that also. Maybe like one year had to do, I don't know, something to do with the Grammy. But they put adhesive on the back of the little plate, and so the rocking chair, I would paint them. I did like a nautical, so I used like the Ralph Lauren aesthetic, and then I had one that looked like a throne. So it had all the royal colors: uh, purple, blue, and red and gold. So I made a cushion that was velvet, and it had like those colors, and it was, you know, gold outlined. And I also went and got these wooden finials. I used to have like little sailboats that I would put on the nautical chairs. And I sold these chairs as a sideline. In fact, Rosie O'Donnell has one of my chairs. And I donated some of my chairs to Harvard University's Children's Hospital, like whatever, the Boston Children's Hospital. I donated a chair to the Boston Children's Hospital. So that was like, I was doing this while I was working full time as a single mom. And you end up running yourself into a hole because you're trying to do everything to be successful and not sell your soul, not try to do it the fast route. And when I got these wooden chairs, they were made in America. These chairs were from wood that was harvested from Oregon. That's where the company that I bought the it was plain wooden chairs, raw, beautiful hard woods that are grown trees in Oregon. So it was 100% American made. So I would do this, and I was selling a few chairs. I was giving most of them away because I didn't have a business acumen. And at one point, I would drive up to, I was on 309, somewhere past Ambler, I would go to this, it was a family owned wooden furniture store. They had everything. And I loved the owners. It was a family owned. All the sons were there. Everybody worked, the wife. You know, those kind of businesses that you love to spend money in. You love to have money when you go to a business that everybody's there, the whole family's there. You want to just open up your, that's how I am. Are you like that? I want to spend big money in places like that. I want to shock them where they go, oh, I didn't know she was going to spend that much money. I love it. So this was that kind of business that I would get my chairs from. Like I said, I would get the brass plates from a place right around the corner from where I lived. This is when I lived in Jenkintown. Jenkintown, anybody know Jenkintown? So these little businesses in Jenkintown, it's like a real cute and quaint little township in Philadelphia. And I went to the place to get the chairs. You know, I wouldn't get many. I would just get two at a time because I'm the one painting them. When you have a little hustle like that, it's like this. It can only go as fast as your hands and your time can permit. I lost my needle. So when you're making things with your hands, it's a different level. Everything about that skill as a creator, it's very sacred. When you know that you can make things that really, there's no price tag that can be put on it. There's no price tag. I sold my chairs for way under what I could have sold them for because I didn't have confidence to ask for a lot of money. I wasn't trained that way to know my worth in the marketplace. So I undercut. I was giving these chairs away, I told you. And these chairs were made with love. They were heirlooms. I wanted the American pride to be felt. That's why I did a nautical one, that Ralph Lauren, that Americana, that whole aesthetic, red, white, and blue. I would buy fabric that would have the beautiful stripes, like pinstripe, and the chairs were red, white, and blue. The finials, the little wooden finials, I would buy them from the store. They would have these, and I would paint the little sailboats. And I had such, it fed me. It fed me to make these. Even though I was working in this chaotic corporate America, I had to do it. It was for my own mental health, which did suffer. My mental health really suffered working in corporate America and being somebody that it wasn't me. I wasn't allowed to be myself. Every time I wanted to be myself, I was told, you know, don't ever say that, Jennifer, in a meeting. Don't, you know, don't say that. You might want to say this. So you learn to say this instead of that. You know, you can't talk about back to Eden when you work for a pharmaceutical company. You know, so you're double-minded. You're double-minded. That's how you are as a nurse too. When you're into back to Eden, imagine that you bring things like this to work and then you're the witch, you're the conspiracy theorist, you're all those things. You know, people will ask you how old you are. When you tell them, they think you're a liar, but they're joking because you're talking about eating hemp. This is what you eat. This is what you snack on. But it's a joke, right? It's a joke. You don't take any pharmaceuticals, right? You try to make your own pesticides, but you're always the joke, the butt of the joke, right? So when you realize, when you come to the other side where we are now, where you can't do this double-minded thing anymore. You can't be, like you were saying, compartmentalized. You can't do it anymore. The more you know, the more you can't play the game. So what you have to do in order to pull through what I'm calling our Jubilee, and I was even calling it an orange Jubilee. And it was based on how I felt when I was in Morocco and I saw orange trees everywhere, orange trees. It had a feeling of abundance, of an everyday luxury, that orange juice is not a premium price. You can just pick an orange. I mean, the oranges are falling down on the ground. What's the big deal to have orange juice? That's the kind of mindset I was in when I was in Morocco. The architecture, the smells. It felt so, it just, I needed these kind of like adventures. And they fed me, they fed my soul. I was running away, always running away. I know what I was running away from, because I knew that I was unemployable. I was going against my soul, my mission, what makes me passionate. And you know what? I've been on this YouTube running from censorship. I've been telling people my testimony, the things that I have learned, the things that I didn't realize I was lied to about, the things that I'm striving to find truth. I want our country to win. I want America to be great. We can debate whether it was ever great. That's not the point. I want it to be great. 1 minute, I'm still here. I want this country to be, I want all of us to be great. When we learn what happened to us back in 1933, when we learn what's happened to us in the 1800s, the 1900s, whatever they want to call it, the Great Reset, and these people would have the audacity to try to do it again and bring a recession and bring about climate hysteria, so they can start to then bring destruction on the earth. If you're not aware, there are beautiful whales. They're called pilot whales. They are mass stranding themselves. I don't know why it's happening. Someone told me on Instagram, it might have been you, Joseph, that talked about maybe it's something about the frequencies are being messed with. These pilot whales, they are so entangled with each other that they will all it's called mass stranding. So there are people out there they're working tirelessly right now in New Zealand. No, not New Zealand, in Tasmania, the west coast of Tasmania, where they're helping as many of these pilot whales as they can. So these are things that are letting us know something is going on. It could be the magnetic pole shifting, and as I call it, the earth is going through menopause. But it's not easy to watch the animals suffer. That, I can take a lot, but when I see children or animals or elderly, those are my pain points. I can't stay silent. So this is what I want to tell you all. As I'm facing myself as a creative, as an employee, a nurse in exile, whatever you want to call me, that employee mindset, I'm fighting every day to elevate my mindset and to put into action the wisdom that I'm learning. Because wisdom without application is just futile. Futile, however you want to say it. It's futile. I need an education on money. Because a lot of you all, 1 minute, I'm going to look. Oh, I found my needle. A lot of you all, you know, those that trust the Creator, you know that you've always known that things were going to balance. You always knew that the bad guy never wins. It's not even programmed into our DNA of storytelling. If I sat here and told you a story where the bad guy wins, what's that going to do for you? That's why movies are set up that way. The bad guy never wins. So this is because in the universe of supreme law, bad people don't win. And I don't know why they get so delusional to think that they will be the one who will pull off the heist. They will be the one that gets away with the crime, the getaway car, when it never has worked out. It's always been a fool's errand. It's always been, they're left with a bag of poop. They wanted the shortcut. They wanted to grow their YouTube channel real fast. So they want to get into salacious stuff, right? It's a quick rise up, but it's also a quick descent. And when you stay lower to the ground sometimes as you are in your cocoon, you're cocooning, as we all have been in a cocoon. We've been in a metaverse, stuck in a metaverse. As we're coming out and we are repenting and renewing our minds, we're becoming entrepreneurial for real. We're learning to face ourselves every day, our weaknesses. What are we wasting time on? What are we doing? How do we set up our day as an entrepreneur? What does an entrepreneur do every hour? Because you've always had every hour accounted for you for your 12-hour shift or your 8-hour shift. You've had somebody scaring you enough to walk within the lines of the culture, the corporate culture, so you don't get fired. That's all you needed to do, is not get fired. But look at how they've treated the people when this pandemic happened. Look how they're rolling back a lot of the things they said. Just like a narcissist who would abuse and traumatize you and then act like you walked into my fist. You ran into my fist. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way about what I did. I'm apologizing. I'm sorry that it made you feel that way. So we're dealing with a culture of narcissism. And they did not give us the playbook. A lot of people that, like I said, all skin folk ain't kin folk. Because I was listening to Super Sly. You know my brother Super Sly, love, by the way. Greetings, Super Sly. Love you, brother. So, he was on here talking with us. I have to have him come back and talk more. So Super Sly, I caught it real late. You know how we keep late hours. I love that he keeps late hours, but he's on the West Coast. So I was up late. I had some training and my schedule's different now. So I happened to catch him and he was talking about, you may know, for those that kind of keep up with I'll tell you, you don't have to know these people to understand the gist of it. But there's a guy named DJ Academics. Well, DJ Academics, he's a young millennial and he's kind of like, he says things that are disruptive. I like people like that. I mean, if they could say it in a way that makes you think and it's not just done just for trolling purposes, but he is a disruptor, whether people like him or not. And he's more so for the younger hip hop scene, and he made a statement about how the younger hip hop artists and just, I guess, artists in general, how they are working smarter than the older guys. And the older guys got into these horrible contracts, these 360 contracts, and they sold their souls basically. And they died, some of them penniless, without their catalogs. And one thing that Super Sly really, like, that's why I love listening to my brother, because he has such a balance. And a lot of times I've told you, I've listened to him and he's helped me to, like, wait a minute. Okay. I'm glad I heard that other thought, that other opinion. Because he's not always going to agree with me. I'm not going to agree with him. That's why we need to just grow out of that. We have to always agree on everything. We need to find the points of agreement where we elevate as a nation. Things that make sense, common sense, whatever you want to call it, law and order. So he was saying that, okay, because when DJ Academics basically called the older rappers that were the pioneers of rap, he kind of called them like dusty or something. They were dusty, and, basically they didn't help the younger generation. They didn't reach back and pull somebody up with them. In fact, a lot of them were predatory. They were very predatory. So who popped out of the bushes was none other than LL Cool J, you know? So LL Cool J, he was in his feelings about it. As a lot of celebrities are right now, they're very touchy about people talking about them. They're suing YouTubers. It's just crazy right now. The thin skin of a public figure. They're doing things like bullying people. It's so stupid right now. They're just imploding because it's based on fakeness. No foundation. So LL Cool J was in his feelings and he was defending the this is my generation, the Gen Xers. So he was defending all of what they did, and they were the pioneers. And I get it. I don't take any of that away from those guys, but you have to, and this is what Super Sly was saying, you have to listen to what DJ Academics is really saying. And he has a valid point. It doesn't matter whatever else he does and says. When a person's right, you just have to say, that's right. And when we hear stories about Puffy, what he did to the bad boy artist, when you look at, what was that West Coast stuff with the guy that's in jail, Suge Knight and all those guys, Death Row. If you look at Pebbles, what she did to TLC, and I won't say allegedly, Pebbles, I know you're a pastor now in Atlanta, and you could be a nice, good church lady, still pretty and everything, and everybody deserves redemption, but let's just call it what it is. The word on the street was that everybody that was managing TLC, if you remember the group TLC, these girls did not have anything. Everything was like a big, like, smoke and mirrors. They had these little cars. It wasn't even a good quality car. And it was just leased to them so they can look successful. But at the end of it, those women, young women, had to tell the truth. They had to let the public know that they were penniless. They were struggling. And we all could sing some of their music. Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, or you and Scrubs. Who didn't like a good Scrubs? Right? It was so sassy. The Scrubs song. But these young women had nothing to show for all of these big hits. And then the death of Lisa Left Eye Lopez, it leaves a lot of questions. Because she was elevating her life. She was changing. She was down at Dr. Sebi's retreat in Central America. What happened to her? She was in Honduras, right? She died in a very mysterious way. A Philly John from Philadelphia. Shout out to all the Philly people in the chatmosphere. But Lisa Left Eye Lopez's death was very strange. So we've seen all the strangeness and we've heard all the horrible things. Pebbles and her husband, L.A. Reid, and all these people, and everything that we're seeing, even down to Motown and what happened to those artists at Motown. A lot of people, they don't want to call out the people from their own little group, their own tribe. It's always got to be the other people. But yeah, the other people, they're up here possibly operating it from a little higher level. But the bottom line is, when you are a traitor to your own people, you don't tell them and put them on how to beat this system, this debt slave system, and you don't tell the younger people how to get out of the debt slave imprisonment. What are we doing if we allow our next generation to be enslaved by the banking cartels? What have we done? What trust should they have in us? We haven't even given them a trust. What are we giving them as a legacy? Even the music, we let them inherit the whirlwind right now with the music and culture. Look at it now compared to when we, Gen X, were coming through listening to conscious music, the street poets. So, yeah, LL Cool J makes a point. They were the pioneers. But if they just got rich and they turned their head the other way when they watched their fellow brothers being, exploited into 360 contracts and other contracts, when they watch their brothers lose their catalogs, have to sell them, have to have a GoFundMe to bury them, that's a disgrace. When somebody can live in their gated communities and they would have done the business a different way, but they didn't tell the secrets. So that's what Super Sly was saying. He was agreeing. He was like, DJ Academics is making a good point. And I agree. Because that's my generation. That's the baby boomers who are sitting nice and comfy in their retirements. Meanwhile, the pensions have been robbed. And like I said, if you love Trump, this is a man who knows how to avoid being taxed to death. For one, he knows business. And he doesn't live in a scarcity and lack mentality. Whether you like him, whether you think he's a mean tweeter or not. He's obviously a good businessman. All you have to do is go online and go look at some of his properties around the world. Go look at the way that the properties are laid out and decorated. Ask yourself, could you stay at a Trump property? Could you go on a trip and stay at a Trump property? I'm just asking. Most of us couldn't. Why? And this is why I am in business right now. That's why I'm excited to get up every day, because now I am learning what I never knew about money, about how to build a safety bubble, if you want to call it. Because you know what? Like I said, with all the trash I talk, where am I going to go get a job? Tell me, boo. Who going to hire me, boo boo? I have to be an entrepreneur. Have to. So I can continue speaking my stuff. I have to remain independent and trusting in the provider, my kinsman redeemer, to put right what has been made wrong. So this enslavement and this captivity will end, because we got to reset. We got more time on the clock, everyone. It's never too late to turn things around and to pull through our jubilee. If you don't think we deserve a jubilee, just tell me. So a lot of us, let me just say, if you were to come into money today, somebody just called you up and it wasn't a Nigerian prince in your email, but someone called you and just told you that you had a secret family member that has a trust for you. Or not just a trust, but I don't know. They have the money in a, I don't know. I went to school with gangsters, like mafia guys, and they would put money in the bricks. They take the bricks out in the basement and put money. So what if you found a bunch of money? Your great grandfather was a mobster. I don't know. Don't get mad at me. And they left all this money and you found it. Would you know what to do with it? Tell me. Answer. Would you know what to do with the money? I don't know. Say you found about 500,000. What's the first thing you would do with it? Would you just put it in a bank because you don't know anything? You would maybe call. I don't know. Do you know who to call if you found $500,000 in the basement behind some bricks? A lot of us wouldn't know what to do. And you know what kicks in sometimes with people who've never had that type of money, especially at one time. You don't think you're going to go a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? You find $500,000. Y'all better tell the truth up here. You better tell the truth. Girl code is here. Sis! Oh my God, you should tap in. Yes. What would you do with a Klondike? What would you do for a Klondike bar? So listen. So your mobster great grandfather got about $500,000, like gold and everything else, baby. It was diversified in the basement behind the 68th brick. And you don't think you're going to go a little cuckoo? You're going to go temporarily mad. Let's be real. First of all, you're going to think of all the people in your family that you don't trust. Because you better not tell everybody. You better not tell anybody. In some families, right? Who can you tell? Who can I turn to? Who can I turn to when I got 500,000? Stocks is something Sean says. Stocks. Well, a lot of people would think that because they're like, they've never been in the stock market or they played it on a low level. So they'd be like, oh, I'm going into the stock market. But do we need to put money in the stock market and continue that foolishness? Sorry, everybody, if you're into stocks. I'm just saying. We're at a different point in our country's economic life. A lot of us wouldn't know because we don't have access to those things, right? We were never the kind of people that had all of this money talk all around us. Maybe some of you are, you know. I've dibbled and dabbled. When I was a drug rep, we used to have to go and learn how to play golf. But, you know, that wasn't my thing. I didn't grow up playing golf. But I'm just saying, we need an education. A lot of you all are looking forward to, you know, a Nasera, if you want to call it a recovering of wealth, a wealth transfer, jubilee, whatever you want to call it, a sabbatical, a golden age, whatever you call it. So if people who have never learned about money, who have been kept from the education, for some reason, you know, it's still, I don't know, nebulous to a lot of us. We do what we can, but we don't do it with the information that would take us to better places. So it's important to know who to trust with these kind of things, this education. And this is something that now I have as a platform, as a way to help all of us. We all grow, we all rise. We need good people that have businesses that we can support. We need good people to produce things, be it food or products or anything. Oh, I meant to finish this story. When I made those rocking chairs and I got them from Oregon, I went up to the store one day. This is what stopped my business, what ended that business, that side hustle that I did. I went up to the store and suddenly I'm not seeing the wooden rocking chairs, the bare wood. And I asked the owners, like, where is the rocking, they had a lot from this company in Oregon. And you know what they told me? We don't carry that anymore. And I'm shocked. Like, what do you mean you don't carry it? It was so like super quality beyond. This would be an heirloom that you could hand down generations. That's how well these rocking chairs were made. And they suddenly stopped carrying them. And I said, so, well, did you go with another company? And they said, yeah. But you know what? He had, when you can sense people and discern, he was holding back. He almost seemed like he was ashamed. But I didn't pick up on it. I was like, where? Show me. Because I needed the rocking chairs. And he showed me. And when I laid eyes on these chairs, first of all, they weren't raw like this wood that they would get from the wooden chairs from Oregon. They were already stained, and you could see little drip marks. It was very not, I don't know, horribly made. And I was like, what is this? And he said, we're now getting our chairs from Malaysia. Malaysia. No shade to Malaysia. But I know you all make beautiful things in Malaysia. But the chairs that they were getting from Malaysia, they were not that quality. They were a substandard quality. Just everything about the chair, it was so shocking. It instantly made me, I felt sick. Because even though I didn't know something, I knew something had changed in our country. Bill Clinton was the president around that time. But I knew in my spirit something had changed and I couldn't put my finger on it. And now I see what changed. We got sold out. Whatever the company that was making those beautiful hardwood made out of, what are the trees out there in Oregon? All those woods. Beautiful sturdy chairs. Whatever happened to that company, it was because of policies from traders that sold our country. So I could no longer put my name on a chair that I was marketing my chairs as 100% American made. I took a pride in that. Even though I wasn't selling it for what it was worth, but I took a pride because I felt like I was doing something that was blessing our country. And then to have a legacy that people could hand down, it was a gift that you could just, you could watch it go down the line to the next child, to their child. And so it's something in a lot of us. We want legacy. We don't want to hand an empty bag or a bag of poop to the next generation. And that's what we've done. We've robbed them. A lot of us have a lot of atoning to do financially because we stay in ignorance. We've made a choice to stay in ignorance because we fear money. We fear talking about money. It scares us. We've fallen out with people over money. Some people have gotten divorces over money. Sorry, fly. They're dropping like flies. Paul Romano. Shout out to Paul Romano. I miss Paul, but I'm not in my I am right now in my backup channel because I'm having technology issues that are crazy. But you know, I laugh it off. Like I said before, it would be something that would make me crazy to go through prior to this different mindset that's developing. I'm just laughing it off, okay? I'm going to stay online. I'm going to keep fighting the censorship. But as I build and grow my business, I want you all to know that I believe that any patriot that is not financially literate, I believe that we are doing our country a disservice because we know that through our finances, we can affect change in our nation. Look at how the political candidates are run in our nation. If you don't have money to back people, you don't get a candidate because they have big money lobbyists and all this stuff that we can't compete with. If you want to start a business that is local, that you can hire people in your neighborhood, your community, and give them a living wage, are you able to move that way? If you want to start a farm and begin to live a sustainable life today, can you do it? If you want to get out of New York City, you want to move up to Woodstock, can you do it? If the block gets hot here in America and you want to maybe go over to Ethiopia, hang out on a little farm in Ethiopia for 3 months or so, 3, 4 months, can you do it? If you want to run for an office in your local community, if you want to run for governor of Georgia against Stacey Abrams, how are you going to do it? If we want to bring about change, we want to start producing products that have that pride that we used to have, the quality that American made used to. It was instantly that you knew that it was quality. How are we going to bring that about without a financial education? That's all I'm asking. If you know, you know. Everybody that's won the lottery, what has happened to them? Because, like I said, if you found the $500,000 in a brick somewhere, like in the basement, like I said, you're going to go mentally a little bit mad, stir crazy for a minute because you're going to think of all the said scenarios. Oh my God, if I tell my cousin, oh my God, they're going to get me for everything. So we need to know who to trust. Who will we call? And this is where I want you to think of me because I am building a financial business. Education is really the paramount part of it. And I want you to think of me and refer people to me because you know what? You want me to be abundant. Trust me. I'm not going to change on you. But what I want to do with abundance is you already know. I think my resume speaks for itself. That you know that I love this nation and I don't like what's happened. And I know that I need power to affect change on another level now. Yeah, our voice is very powerful, but we have to also put our money and back it up. Are you vibing with me, what I'm saying? Do you want to take a field and observe it and be able to get that field? What does it say about that woman in Proverbs 31? What does it say about her? A lot of us women need to know how to apply that. She considers a field she considers a field. And with her hands, her family never goes, they never freeze, right? What are they trying to do to you, British? They want to freeze you. When you have the power of a financial education, when you are self sustaining, there's no monarchy, fake monarchy, that is going to freeze you out, Great Britain. Because we need to take back the energy. They get the energy off of us anyway. And they lie to us like they're trying to do this climate hysteria so they can cut off energy. Well, we need to have the energy. And guess what? Money is energy. Money is a currency. Like I said, when I go into a store and it's owned by a family, an American good old family, you got grandma working, you got the kids sweeping, husband and wife there. I want to spend a lot of money in your business. And a lot of you know that I have done that in past times when I've been in different financial abilities, okay? If you know what I'm saying. A lot of us have been knocked down so much. Just know I've been knocked down financially. You know, I've been a divorcee, raising my daughter. I wanted my daughter to have a good education. I put her in Episcopal Academy. For you Philadelphians that know, that's a lot of money, baby. Episcopal Academy. I had to have her go there because my cousin, one of my beloved cousins, went there. Her name was Yasmin, and she died at a young age. Sudden death. But I've been traumatized by her death. I don't even talk about her. But I put my daughter in Episcopal Academy because I just wanted a connection to my cousin Yasmin. And I did it on my pharmaceutical money. And it was hard. A lot of times I couldn't do it. But I did it as long as I could. And my daughter had a good education. She had a really good foundation. And she is a very intelligent, excuse me, it was just saying her name, Yasmin. That just shows I need to talk about Yasmin more. Yes, I lost my cousin, one of my cousins. We even went to Spelman together. She went to Spelman with me. And she died. She had multiple sclerosis, and it's a long story, but she died. She was only 30. And I don't talk about her a lot anymore. But I sent my daughter to Episcopal Academy. I struggled with it. I had a home for my daughter. I bought a home. I wouldn't have wanted to live in a house at that time. An apartment would have been good enough. But I had to have a home with a backyard, and she had like one of those big gingerbread houses that was made by the Amish. So I went out to Lancaster and bought her this house, and my dad wired it with electricity, and she had a housewarming. It was for one of her birthdays. Let me know if I came back. I think I got bumped out. This is a long live stream. Tell me if you can hear me. Am I back on? Let me know. Can you hear me? Am I back? I'm back. Okay, that's good. It broke my crying. So I'm not going to cry, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to cry. I said her name, Yasmin. Yasmin. I'll talk about her one day. So what I was saying is like I did all that on a pharmaceutical salary, and that's why I stayed in pharmaceuticals as long as I did, because I wanted to give my daughter a life. You know, when 9/11 happened, 2001, I lost my footing financially. It traumatized me. I had a really bad post-traumatic stress break, really intense, where I had to move to the West Coast. And, you know, I've had 2 hospitalizations. You know, I've almost left this world 2 times. And each hospitalization, divorce, custody battle, all these things that you go through, you know, you go through these ebbs and flows. You never really catch up when you've had so many financial, you know, just punches. And the way that this cannibalistic economy is set up, where we don't know how to get out of these holes, of these prisons, of this debt slavery. We need someone, we need mentors, we need the education, we need people we can trust. But more importantly, we need good people to get into these positions that you can be a resource. And we have to learn. We have to be willing to learn and change. And like I said, I'm fighting myself. I'm fighting myself. I really am. Because it's been programmed and conditioned into me. But one thing about me, I must have some hope, okay? A lot of hope. Because I've always known that, like I said, the bad guys don't win. They don't win ultimately. And we win. God wins. But we have to be upright. We have to get on a code of law and order. And we can do it together. We can do this together. So just know, like, the things that I envision, I believe it can all be done. You know, I want to produce honey. I want to have my own bees. I want to learn how to keep bees. I want to have chickens. I want to be able to have a storehouse. A storehouse. Because a lot of people aren't prepared. They don't know. I want to be able to, like, for my mother, I have so many things I want to do for my mom. You don't understand. Like, I know you understand. Everybody knows, like, their mom. My mom, one of my, I want to be able to put her in a spa, like a healing spa. She has scoliosis, and her posture has, you know, she's become frail, and it hurts my heart because my mother was a tall woman, tall woman. And you know, when you see your mom, you know, get older, I want so many things for her. I want to be able to send her to people who can work on her spine. Like, you know, it's a masseuse here in the community. He's really good. You know, chiropractors, they are so good. I want to say shout out to the chiropractors. I have a good one up in Philly. We love him, Ed. I don't know if Ed watches my live streams, but I love you, Ed. He takes care of my brother, right? We love Ed, right? So if you don't have a chiropractor, why? Because chiropractic, I mean, they've been called quacks and everything and disrespected by the traditional allopathic medicine industry when they are the healers. They are the healers. I want to be able to send my mother to like top-notch chiropractors and people that can help, like, really get her to a point where she can improve. But that takes money. If you want to avoid the hospitals, like the one in my community is horrible. It's like going into Nazi Germany. I see them all. They look like they're wearing boots. They're demanding that you wear 2 masks in the hospital here. This hospital has cannibalized all the competition. They have nothing but traveling doctors, traveling nurses, hardly. They can't keep people because it's too dangerous to work there and have a license because they're always understaffed. I've never been hauled off in court for my nursing practice. Never. And I've worked like a Hebrew slave as a nurse. I have put in let me tell you, I paid my dues. Nursing is a humbling profession, I'll tell you that. You're watching people come into the world and leave and leave. Some don't leave very well. And you're traumatized from being a nurse so many years. I can't go back to a profession. I've been traumatized. I'm just letting you know. You're not supposed to continue being traumatized for years for a profession that'll let you go because you don't kneel to their tyranny. You know, it's safer sometimes to go to a veterinarian than to go to the hospital. I'd rather go to the veterinarian, to be honest. And that's true in a lot of communities. I did travel nursing down in St. Croix. They have one hospital down there in Christiansted. When people get into snags, like Americans that live down there, they will take their kids. If the kid breaks an arm or something, they'll take their child to the veterinarian rather to the doctors. Veterinarians know how to set bones better than a doctor, human doctor. I'm betting on the veterinarian, especially if it's an equine vet, right? Wouldn't you rather go to an equine veterinarian? Shout out to the horses. Shout out to the horses. So yeah, they are majestic, aren't they? If you know, you know. Majestic animals. Yeah, naturopath. Absolutely. Well, I was waiting for the guests to pop in. I'll continue inviting them. They probably, I checked with one friend. Oh, probably something came up, but we still hung out for a long time here. If you know, you know, John. Horses are majestic, right? Didn't Jesus come on horses? Him and his crew? Second coming on horses, huh? I know they want you to be scared about the horsemen of the apocalypse, right? Klaus Schwab's and all of them. Well, you know, to counteract what Klaus Schwab wants to do to us, make us eat the bugs, have nothing and be happy. Guess what? To counter them, we got to take this back. We have to take it back and pull through our orange jubilee, if you want to call our jubilee. You want to plant a bunch of orange trees, you want to move to Florida. My cousin Yasmin lived in Florida. At a time, our lives would, like, it would just, we would be in the same places a lot. Like I told you, she went to Spelman with me. And we lived in Florida. Like, I used to live in Florida when I was married. My ex-husband was a dean of a college down there. So I used to live in Florida, like near West Palm. And my cousin lived in West Palm for a bit. We grew up in Philly, but she lived down in West Palm. She had inherited a newspaper company from a relative. And so we were down there together. And she had grapefruit trees. I'll never forget grapefruit trees. And we would go out. She had one of these little things that you could pick them when they were ripe, because they would fall on the ground when they were super ripe. And those were the ruby red grapefruit that, you know, Florida has the best. And we would just eat grapefruit. It was abundant. She had to give it away. And that's how it was when I lived in California. I used to knit with a lot of women that had avocado trees, and I had a cousin in LA that had an avocado tree, and they didn't even pick the avocados. It just whatever. They didn't care. They were going to the supermarket buying avocados. And see, this is what has happened to us. We've gotten out of our natural mind. One day I was at the supermarket in LA. I lived in a small community, but I was at one of these little stores that had sort of a healthy spin to it. And I was in the checkout and I forgot that I didn't get lemons. Okay, so I was like, wait a minute. I knew the all the checkout people because it was a community place, and I was like, wait a minute, I forgot lemons. I was like, I'll be right back, and it was like not real a lot of people in the store, so I could hurry up and grab a lemon or two and come back. But I didn't run and get the lemon because you know what? It was a young lady, and she was one of these young girls that had piercings and tattoos and everything, and I loved, what, that stuff doesn't bother me at all. you know you're another human. I don't care if you got whatever, trying to scare me with your tattoos and piercing. But you know what she did, and you can learn from anyone. She looked at me when I said, wait a minute, I forgot to get lemons, and she kind of looked at me, it kind of looked like, and she knew my name and everything. We were buddies. Okay. And so she was like, Jennifer, for real? And I was like, what? And she was like, Jennifer, for real? And I wasn't picking up on what she was trying to relay. I was that out of touch. But she was just giving me that look like, you're really going to go buy some lemons? And I was like, yeah. She said, you don't know anybody with lemon trees? And that's when it hit me. I was like, whoa, I'm living in Southern California buying lemons at the supermarket. Something is not right with that. Do you agree? Something's wrong. And she was letting me know in a certain way, like, you got to be kidding me that you don't have the plug to get some lemons. So I felt like ridiculous. Like, wow, what has happened here in LA? Because where I lived, they used to have fruit trees and orchards everywhere, orange and lemon trees and everything. But what they were doing was they were paying people not to, I guess, harvest the stuff because they were building tract homes everywhere. And the fruit was just falling to the ground, rotting, just rotting. Because they had successfully programmed Los Angeles to buy citrus from the supermarket. Make it make sense. So, in Florida, you should never have to buy grapefruit or lemons or oranges, right? From the grocery or even a farmer's market. You should just have a citrus tree in your backyard if you live in Florida. Why wouldn't you? So that's what my mission is. I want to, this is what I want to see us go back to Eden. Back to Eden. That's what I want to fight for. And I realize it's going to take money to do it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I am expanding as we speak. Simple as that. So, like I said, I want to do this thing. I want to do a class, a master class, and I want to show you all how to make a wedding gown, how to crochet a wedding gown. If you are intermediate and above, or if you pick up things really quick, I'm not going to try to stop you, but I'm going to say that it's if you're starting from just like making a chain, it might be a little frustrating. I'll say you could always sit in with us and tell us whatever. You could be an armchair crocheter. But I want to do this, and I want to do this like I want to start something. I don't know what. It'll bring me back alive again with this art, with this skill. So just think about me, okay, as I'm building my business. I'm going to leave my email. And you can contact me. If you ever want to have like a conversation with me, if you need questions answered, just know I have wonderful people in my life. And I'm just using this email right now because it's the one I can get into. You know how it is when you are being you're being censored. You lose sometimes your emails, your Gmails. So right now I've gone back to using my Yahoo. So contact me if you want to. Listen, I'm building a business. I need referrals. I need people who want to talk about money, how to learn how to become the smart people that know about money. If you're a patriot, you want to start being a part of the Making America Great, not just saying it, but doing it. And you know that you need to understand finances for that. You like Trump, you want to read his book, The Art of the Deal. You want to learn how to not be played like people that are the average people, right? Get played by this. We have to make things better. We have to do it with knowledge, though. So I want you to always think of me as the person who has the resources, okay? Has the resources, has the answers. You don't have to raise a GoFundMe to bury your people, okay? You don't need to do any of that when you know better, when you know the secrets, right? And that's a shame. People just need to know. That's all. It's all about information. That's all, right? So thank you for joining me and thank you for your support. And this is like, I don't ask you for a lot, but I am building a business, okay? I am elevating, all right? I'm in the financial services sector. So anything to do with that, I want you to think of Jennifer, please. I will be your person. You trust me. You like me. You've gotten to know me enough. You know I'm not going to run off and get a whole bunch of Louis Vuittons, right? I don't want your Louis Vuittons. I don't want your red bottoms. I just want a fiber farm. We'll make our own shoes, okay? So I want to thank you. I appreciate I've been talking for a long time. My friends that were going to join me, I'm going to re-invite them to come on at another time. And like I said, just jot down my email if you want to schedule a time and talk or anything one-on-one about a question you might have in the financial services. Contact me. Or if you know anyone in your family, send them to me. Okay? Like and subscribe. I'm asking a lot today because I never ask for anything, do I? But support. Is it Mercedes' birthday? What? Happy birthday, Mercedes. Is it today? Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mercedes. I won't buy a Mercedes though. Happy birthday to you. Blessings. And if it's your birthday, I'll sing a special song for you as well. It might not sound so good. I'm not trying to be a singer. I don't think I would do well there. But I'm building a financial services business. Keep me off of the stages trying to sing, okay? Just think of me and send me referrals, okay? Love you all. I'll see you soon. You're welcome, Mercedes. Love you, sis. Look at that. Yay. One take son. Happy birthday. Look at that. You're getting birthday love. All right. So let me put my where's my email? Did you all tell me should I keep my picture in the frame, the floating? Did you guys let me know if it looks okay? Let me know. Do I need a better see I need better frames. Who can afford frames, right? My gosh. The frame is more than the picture. So if you need good frames, you need to be able to get good frames, right? I remember getting a frame once, you guys. I can't even tell you how much I spent. It made me so sad. But I had bought this, I had invested. When you invest in art, you have to spend money on the frame. Don't you know that? I had to. Karen, where did I put my email? I want to put it back up for you if you need it. It's jenscribes@yahoo.com. Did you all get it? I'm looking for it. You're welcome, T. Witten. Love you. If I've missed you, it's not because I wanted to miss you. But we've been on for almost 3 hours. Oh well. I love it, love it, love it. So I'll be in touch. We'll be hanging out more. And just hit me up right here at jenscribes@yahoo.com. And let's make America great again, okay? Literally. Let's do it, everybody. Let's stop saying it and let's do it, okay? But we need to be able to do it. So who else is here? Did I miss anybody? All right, so I'll be heading out and I will see you later. All right, love you all. Take care. And we're going to have our good brother Joseph do a nice concert. We're going to do it on YouTube, okay? Hopefully it'll be okay. I was playing a little John Coltrane earlier. If that video is still up, let me know. But I lost the stream, but I was playing the trumpets. I'd love to play it on the way out, but let's just try to keep this up. I'd like to get a platform too, my own platform where I don't have to do any of that. So, got to work on the website and all of that. All right, thank you, Karen. Karen's got it in the chatmosphere too. All right, everybody, take care and God bless. Love you.